Hello, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, Angela.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm going to put Angela's, the notification just went out.
Okay.
I'm going to put Angela's link in there for you, Tammy.
Awesome. Thank you. Angela, it's so nice having you on.
Thank you for inviting
So excited
me.
to chat with you.
Yeah. I love getting to know my YouTube friends more.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
Hello,
Hey,
Chris and
Chris and
Larry.
Larry.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Always takes a minute to get the lives up and going good.
It does. Milk and Honey, good to see you all.
I put it in the chat. Hey, Papa's
Awesome.
Kitchen.
I'll go ahead and pin that.
I should probably open this up if I want to.
Hey, Papa's Kitchen.
See if it pops up on my other device that you're live. It sure does.
Awesome.
Make sure my volume's off. Thumbs up, friends. I can go in and do it under this.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that helps, like, let people know we're live and going. I don't know. Maybe it does other stuff, but
Yeah, I agree, because there is so much going on. I hope everybody's doing well with all the storms rolling through. They're hitting everywhere. I mean, we've been hearing, Lisa, you were just talking about all the snow that you've gotten and roads being closed. Our friends in Arizona, they're seeing the same thing. I mean, the snow, the volume of snow.
Arizona has snow?
Northern Arizona, yes, they are just getting inundated. And the thing is, it's not all melting real well in between the storms. They're probably doing better now, but shoot, just a couple of weeks ago, I mean, we're talking after you shovel and pile, even though maybe it quits snowing and then it comes again, but it stays cold. Northern Arizona doesn't like tend to get warm, and then it just stays cold, like where you are, Lisa. You and I were in very similar environments, just in the high country, you know. And
Yeah, and I was just typing in Milk and Honey, but we'll go right from spring snow to hail season.
yeah. Hey, LP, good to see you. Thank you all for joining us.
Hey,
I
LP.
feel like I've seen a spring in I don't know how long. It just seems like it goes from winter to summer anymore.
Huh.
Yep.
And you are Angela. Do you want to take a minute and share with everybody, like, where you are located and a little bit about your channel for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Angela, the Inquisitive Farmwife, and I live in Northeast Kansas. I have been doing like farmers markets and selling stuff from my home for a decade or more. And I just,
Awesome.
although if you look at my YouTube channel, it says I've had one for 4 years. I just about 15 months ago started like creating content, like making actual videos. I did it so I could do like VRs, video responses to other channels when they said, hey, what's your opinion or whatever. And so that's why I did it, because I wanted to just kind of be a part of the group, but not have a channel, because I was a little nervous. My kids were younger and I don't know, you just never know. So I don't know, something a couple years ago just made me think I could give it a try, and I did, and I've been loving it, and I love making all these new friends. And my content is mostly this past several months, it's been a lot in the kitchen. So I do canning, freezing, dehydrating, freeze drying, baking, all that good stuff. But I do have a whole other part that in the summer you get to see me outside more, because I have livestock. So I have dairy goats, dairy cows, all sorts of birds like peacocks, turkeys, guineas, chickens, ducks, got it all. And then I also, my husband and I are field farmers. So every once in a while I'll take you in the tractor with me and let you guys see what's going on there too. So that's more in the fall towards harvest time. That's when I help the most. So
Awesome.
Yeah, that's me.
What kind of goats do you have?
La Mancha. They're the ones that look like they don't have ears. People will be like, You know, because like sheep, you'll dock their tails, and you know, like dairy animals, a lot of times you'll take off their horns. And I'll have the kids used to ask me, especially like at our local fairs, they'd be like, "Did you take off their ears?" No, no, honey, that's just the way they're born. That's just the way they look. They don't have the big long ears.
Uh-huh.
Real tiny, stubby ones. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
awesome. That's different because a lot of people have the Nubians or they got the Nigerian dwarfs. We have Nigerian dwarfs here.
Okay.
Hey, Vineyard Chicks and
Hey,
Susan
Vineyard Chicks.
Goulet.
Hey.
So do you is that where your soap comes from? Is your goat's milk?
No, I have. So the soap I was everybody, I was showing off my soap a minute ago.
Sorry, maybe that's a secret.
No, it's not a secret.
Okay.
And this is nothing. It's not like super fancy. I mean, so I've been doing like melt and pour soap forever, which I love. Anybody who wants to make soap, start with melt and pour. It's super easy. But I'm gonna be making my own melt and pour soap because I love a glycerin based soap, and that's what your melt and pour is. It's a glycerin based soap. I love that, but I'm gonna have to make my own because the price of it has just gone crazy. Like 2 pounds is like almost $12 now, which is nuts. Unless you get it on sale for like $8.50, which is still crazy.
I saw a block of melt and pour. It was almost $40.
Nuts. That's just nuts. And you can make it. A lot of people don't know this. They know that the melt and pour is the easy stuff because somebody else has done the hot process method to create this. And then you just got to cut it up. You can melt it. And then I like to play with it. And I think it's great for any new soap maker. Like I haven't made cold process or hot process yet. That's on my to-do list.
Yeah.
But this is a great way to start because you get used to just working with it with your additives and you know how much stuff you can put in there. So like this is a face soap. It's got green tea. And then I totally nerded out on essential oils and which essential oils are collagen boosting. So there's like a collagen boosting blend in here and I love it for my face. So, but I'm giving one of these to Big Dreams Tiny Budget because she won a prize box that I'm sending to her. So I'm sending her this and I make some like face serum I'm going to send to her also and just trying to make a bunch of cool stuff. Consumables are always fun for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could hot process. You can do this. I'm going to start making my own hot process style melt and pour soap as well as
That's interesting.
And I wish I could use milk.
I've never done any of the hot process. I've always just done the cold process. But even like the lye and the essential oils and all that stuff, it's all going up. I mean, that's just what life is right now, I think.
Yeah. Right.
So what do you do with your goat's milk then? Or do you milk your goats? Or
we do. And that's kind of my daughter's thing. It's on the homestead, but it's their goats and she milks the goats and our grandbabies have really like grown up on goat's milk.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So we've mostly just used it for cooking and just drinking. I mean, and when the babies are, not being breastfed, they consume a lot of the milk when they want, milk to drink because they go from being breastfed babies to goat's milk babies is how they.
The sun went away and I got real dark. Sorry. There we go.
There you are.
Back. Wow.
So I saw that you also sell things at like your farmer's market, right?
Well, I don't know that I'm going to do farmer's market this year. I used to actually manage our local farmer's market for most of like half of the time that it's been open. We just celebrated 10 years and I think I had done 5 or 7 of it. Must have been more like 5. But anyway, I don't know that I'm going to be able to keep up with it anymore. It's a lot. I mean, even just, taking your tent and putting it up and down and taking all the tables and all that takes time. And it's like you get up, you do your morning chores, you try to bake your bread and you gather all your stuff and then you go sell it in the heat of the day. And then you come home and you got to do evening chores and you're just done for. And it's like, I have a grandbaby now and my energy and extra time, it wants to be able to go travel. So I'm only going to do once a day milking and be done with most things by noon so that I can because it's a couple hours there and a couple hours back. And then if
Oh, wow.
meal time in there, it's if I leave by noon, I'll be happy to get back by 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And that's only spending a couple hours there. So
Yeah.
I just don't know if I'm going to do farmers market anymore. And I'm going to try to focus more on, I do have a little farm stand here at the farm that I sell from, because in Kansas, you have to sell your milk on property. I think Missouri is the same way too. But anyway, I do have some of my stuff there, and I'm wanting to get an online store for my soaps that I sell. But I haven't gotten there yet.
But I mean, you could do it and not do anything for several years, like I have.
Well, I feel like,
and then you got it there.
Yes, I need to just, I think I've decided what platform I want to go with and everything, but I just need to have the time to sit down and do it. It just seems like if I sit down, I'm editing or something like that. And so you got to put this fire out before you go to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah, because it can get overwhelming. There's so many. It sounds like you've got so many different pots on the stove.
I do. I'm really, really bad about that. I mean, that's why I call myself the Inquisitive Farmwife, because I'm curious about everything, and I love to learn new things and new skills, and then I love to share my information with people. But it kind of gets me in trouble sometimes, because it's like you add one more little thing and you think, oh, it's not that much. And then, but the problem is, over the last, 5-6 years, I've added so many new things. Like I finally had to give up. I don't get to garden as much as I really want to. I haven't gardened several years, but when we first moved here, I had a 1 acre garden, and I loved it. But
oh my goodness, that was a lot.
Well, I don't know. I had a routine. You get up in the morning when the sun is peeking through, when before it gets too hot, and you go out there. But now I'd rather milk during that time because the flies, and you just can't do it all.
Yeah,
I'm learning.
You can try.
I tried, but I'm failing. So I'm learning to just let go of some things.
It's not failing. It's just that you can't be good at everything.
Yeah.
If you're doing everything, you can't.
I don't feel like I was giving enough effort and energy to everything I was doing. I need to streamline more.
Yeah. Because there'll be things that do slip through.
Yeah. And then the next thing you know, those little things become big things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's hard when you want to do a lot. And then you have to face the facts that you can't do everything you want to do.
Yeah. And I do it all on my own, pretty much. I mean, my husband will carry in with the bobcat, he'll bring in the big bales of hay, and then I'll cut, the string off to feed the livestock. But as far as all the stuff, it's on me. I mean, so, one person can only do so many things. So
that's right.
Sewing and quilting and gardening have kind of been thrown back there.
Oh, I know. You know what? I love to sew. I've not learned how to quilt. I've only made clothes.
I love quilting.
It's, and easy clothes. So like clothes for the babies, though. I mean, I've done things like with ruffles and, had them look really
I can't do clothes and
buttons and whatnot, and I've simple shirts, tunics and stuff like that. I can do buttons and things. I haven't done a zipper yet. Believe it or not, I have sewed so many things and I've gotten away with not having a zipper. That's another thing I need to do this year is learn how to sew a zipper, but I want to learn how to quilt because I have quilts from my grandma and I love them. They're amazing. And, I'm going to be handing down quilts I had as a little girl, for my little twin bed as a little girl that I'm giving to the grandbaby girls. And it would be so awesome to be able to make some of those. I figure if I start now, maybe I'll be good by the time I'm 70. Give myself a good, 20 years ish. That's okay.
There you go.
Turn that down.
But I hear you. It's not something that I get to go do all the time for sure. I haven't, since we got everything out of storage, I haven't sewed yet.
Well, I keep thinking, that's a winter project.
That's what I was thinking.
Spring it is. Winter's gone.
Seasons. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just need to make it happen if I really want it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you want to tell us about your goals for this year?
I would say my big one is to get an online store,
Mm-hmm.
because I think once I get it set up, then it'll not be as hard to maintain.
Yeah.
And then that
Right.
way I can still try to sell my wares,
Mm-hmm.
and not have to leave the farm. And so my
Mm-hmm.
time can be more towards improving what I have. So I think
Yeah.
that's probably my big goal. I would like to try to do a little bit of gardening, even if it's just in containers.
Uh-huh.
With, maybe some herbs and some
Yeah.
lettuces and maybe green beans. I think there's some things I can try with containers. So,
Mm-hmm.
and as far as like YouTube goals, it'd be pretty awesome to be monetized. No, I know I've reached that 1,000, but I don't have my watch hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because a lot of people that are not involved in this don't realize that you have to have several things that you have to do, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not there yet, but that would be a pretty awesome thing to
Mm-hmm.
have happen. Not that I have to be. I enjoy doing what I do, but it
Mm-hmm.
would be a little pat on my back.
Yeah. A
Yeah,
little reimbursement for your energy and time and
yeah,
stuff that you
Un
put.
poquito
yeah.
reimbursement.
Well, it just validates that, if you get to this level, that people enjoy what you're doing, and it makes you feel
Mhm.
encouraged to continue. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agree. Real
Hey,
quick.
Dark Lord Minette. Hey, Gail Southern Living. Daz,
Oh,
my
yeah.
Aussie Gardening Kitchen.
Yep. Hello, everybody. And Vineyard Chicks. I don't know if I said hi to you all yet either. Thank you all for coming in, joining us for our chat with Angela, the Inquisitive Farmwife. You do have a great channel. I mean, you've got some great content on there. The
Aw,
cooking, oh my goodness, all kinds of good stuff. And I see like you participate in a lot of the collaborations that are going on.
I'm really into that right now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm making new friends, and I think that's how I met both of you, was
Mm-hmm.
through collaborations. And
Yep.
I got courageous enough to start hosting them, and that's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so
A lot of
I
work.
hope to do that every few months, to host one for now anyway. If we get
Awesome.
bored with it, or it just gets to
Mhm.
be too much, then
Mm-hmm.
I won't, but that's fun. I
Yeah,
do see a
those are fun.
question. I'm trying to go back through. Milk and Honey Heritage Farm says, I need to figure out how to keep an intact goat and how to have Nubians. So I don't know if that was a question or just a statement, but if it's a question, my advice, and you would know just as much as I would, is I like to just have a separate pen, because they get crazy during breeding season, and you don't want to deal with the craziness. Just have them in their own area.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
Sorry,
how we do. They're always separated. Lisa, you do the same thing with the pigs.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked how we did it last year. And again, that we were newbies last year, but I really liked the way we did it last year. Is Sherman went in to visit daily,
Mm-hmm.
because with pigs, the boars will exhaust the sows,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
and they will also eat all their food.
Uh-huh.
So we
Yes.
dealt with that this year.
I saw that you
But
posted
thankfully,
that.
because we had a split 1 and 1 and we're short on room. We did have a third pen, but at that time of the year, it's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we put them in for a while. We were able to observe both being bred. So then we just kind of put them back together.
Yeah. And sometimes you want to control who the mama and the daddy are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So that's cool. And by the way, I wanted to tell you, Mountain Grandma, because I think some of you may have known. So Eleanor bit Fiona's ear.
Uh-huh. I saw that.
And in a span it was sliced pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And so the tip did fall off yesterday.
Oh, did it? Okay.
So I
Because it
feel a
was
lot
just
of
hanging
relief.
on by like this much.
Yeah, and I feel a lot of relief over that, because now she can finally heal. I mean, it was healing beautifully, but she can finally heal because she is we anticipate that she is pregnant.
Yeah.
Do you put
Awesome.
anything on it?
Blue Coat Daily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were going to give her an injection of antibiotics, but when I read the antibiotics, they said something to the effect of right before farrowing or after farrowing. Well,
Mm.
Oh, if she's
she's
pregnant.
way early in the stages.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
didn't feel comfortable giving it to her. So what we ended up doing was not giving it to her and just keeping a close eye, and there's no signs of infection.
Mhm.
And I think that's because of the frostbite in that ear.
Mm.
Psalm 146, Home and Garden. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
Chris and Larry Homestead, 10 Cooney sows and 2 boars, 2 herds, and 2 Nubian bucks and 22 does and 2 herds.
And I know some people who do just run them all year. I currently I have a little buckling in with my girls who are just now starting to kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually try to pull them about kidding time because of all the hormones and smells and stuff. And I don't want anything.
Mm-hmm.
This little guy is not aggressive at all. And so I'm leaving him in there until I see a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Milk and honey, it wasn't with either one of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Because by the time we take them out, the females are not in heat anymore. So we haven't had a problem. We walk them back and forth between pens.
Mm-hmm.
Do you keep new mamas with babies and everyone? For me, for the pigs, we do what's recommended, which is for them to be separate in their own area. So our sows will be with their babies on their own in their own pens. So we'll have 2 different areas. I don't know about the goats.
Yeah. For us, as far as separating them after their date, that's not difficult for us either. But how we do the goats is the babies will stay with the females. So they're over with all the nannies and the mama. And it's so cute. Goats are they are so adorable and sweet
Okay.
because a baby is like everybody's baby. It's
Aw.
it is the sweetest thing to watch. I don't know if you remember, Lisa, when we were in Arizona, one of the baby goats had gotten out of the fencing at the kids, and the neighbor dog. Well, they weren't even neighbors; they were like construction people. They brought a huge dog with them, like pulled the it. I guess it got close enough to the fence, or maybe wandered, and it got killed by the neighbors
Oh,
or
no.
the construction people's dog.
Oh,
But it wasn't even the mama goat that alerted her the most. It was another female that was in there that was just losing her mind, trying to tell her, "Hey,
oh,
get over here, something's up." Like,
Right, right.
yeah. Hey, Joy, blessed life. Thank you all for coming in, and hey, Gail, Southern Living.
And hey,
Yeah.
Nordic drip coaching.
But that's how we do it. And then if they get big enough and they're male, then they introduce them over with the other bucks. But
yeah.
um,
That's kind of what I do.
then
I
the bucks are
separate the
not
babies
real
at
nice
night.
right off the bat, but they do their thing. They get there. Hey, Nordic Drip Coaching, good to see you, Anita.
I usually separate the babies after a few days to probably a week, maybe even up to 10 days or whatever old. Once they've got a good start. And then at night, I lock the babies separate, but they can still be by their mom. It's still in the same area, if that makes sense. And then that way I can get my milk in the morning.
I just wanted to say I saw Milk and Honey said they're overthinking it.
Yeah.
You
Sometimes we do
are.
those things.
You are. I mean, I don't have goats, and I know that can be a lot more involved with birthing, with kidding. But yeah, it's nerve wracking. It is nerve wracking. And the other thing was, Anita said, "Is it true what they say? Look to the animals for how a community cares for a child." Well, I'm just going to give you my example. So it's funny how, like, you were talking about the mamas being so sweet to the babies.
Mm-hmm.
Eleanor was so great to Norman and his sister when they would run around and Eleanor's babies were weaned. And then we all saw what Eleanor did to Norman when we tried to put them together. So
Mm-hmm.
it's funny. Motherhood passes and she's like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Yeah.
I don't have to be nice anymore. So I kind of keep them separate.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
I have
Jamie's country living.
I have found that the most accepting are geese. It is the strangest thing.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this at
Huh.
all, but I hatched out some little goslings
Mm-hmm.
and they were in the house forever and I'm like, I got to get them out of here because if you've ever had poultry at all in the house, it's awful. But
Yes.
if you have waterfowl, it's really bad. And so it's stinky, messy. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I call my ducks my little piggies because they are piggies. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I put those goslings in there and those geese took right to protecting because all my waterfowl are in
Really?
one pen together. So my
Uh-huh.
ducks and my geese.
Huh.
And the ducks, they weren't sure about the little ducklings, but because I
Mm-hmm.
had them together, but they mothered them. And I've got more males than females on the geese.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't know how they would react.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they just accepted them immediately. It doesn't matter how
Mm-hmm.
old they are because I've done it now sooner that now
Yeah.
I'm not worried. And yeah, I've never had it happen like that. Because if you do that with chickens, sometimes they'll peck them to death. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you have to put them in at least 3 chickens and you try to do it at night and you do
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff, and you watch for the pecking order to happen. No
Mm-hmm.
blood, nothing. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
these guys are nice and sweet. Turkeys,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta be careful with them too because I had to watch. I had some peacocks with the turkeys,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll pick the tops off. They pick at
Huh.
everything. With the geese, I thought, oh great, this is gonna be awful, but I can't have them in the
Mm-hmm.
house. Nope. Most
Mm-hmm.
loving creatures ever towards their own.
That's
So
awesome.
That's
That's
yeah,
awesome.
interesting.
I've got
Huh.
a dozen laying chicks in a brooder in a stock tank. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you can't see it in the stock tank on the table there.
Mm-hmm.
They're about 3 weeks old and they're not going outside anytime soon.
it'll be your weather.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
had meat birds in the house.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. And we had them right up until 4 weeks. And they were huge. I mean, they were huge. One thing about when how people do the videos about what I didn't know or what I didn't expect was how quick, because chickens, we've had baby chicks in the house and they grow up, we call them at the teenager stage, then they can go outside, but we had to worry about the cold. So they were in a little longer than otherwise maybe what we would have if the weather was better. But I wasn't expecting them to be so dang big. They were huge.
I've not done meat birds, but I've seen them, and they get out.
Yeah, they're very large. Yeah. G Mama Grows, good to see you.
bunch of people just came in the chat.
Hey Joy Blessed Life,
Yeah.
Michelle Crochets in Kansas, good to see you all. Hey Barb's Country Home.
Corner Clubhouse Cobalt.
I'm going to see if we capture bears. Oh shoot.
Yeah, I just was telling her we dealt with bears in Connecticut, and they used to open our garbage cans, and then they would walk up the hillside with the garbage bag like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would set it against a tree so they could go through it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You know what we saw this morning? We
What?
saw a woodchuck, which is a groundhog.
Yeah,
And I didn't know that until today. And then I'm like, all those years of how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? And I never knew it was a groundhog.
I had something like that happen to me. The neighbor offered me some jars in his an old outbuilding, and he said the whistle pigs have been there. And I'm like, finally,
Yeah,
I
I
had to
heard
look at
that's
him
what
and I
they're
go,
called too.
"What's a whistle pig? I have no idea what you're talking about."
Mhm.
And he's like, "It's a groundhog," and I'm like, "Oh,
They're so cute.
They call Frenchies bat pigs.
oh,
French bulldogs, they call them bat pigs.
Oh, do they?
really?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I
I've
mean,
heard whistle pig before.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have marmots,
Mm-hmm.
which are like they're just furrier.
Mm-hmm.
Dad's has got koala bears.
That's awesome. I love when he's like got the kangaroos and all that fun stuff.
I know.
but I've
Although
heard
they
that they're
kind of
kind of
freak me
aggressive.
out. Like if I know, yeah, I'm kind of scared of a
Cuddle
kangaroo.
them up, but I heard that that's like a thing you
They'll
don't.
knock you out flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Not
will.
the kangaroos, but the koalas. I've heard they're even
Really?
Like you can't just go up and grab them and pet them. They have to be, in the wild. They're not like that. You can't. They have to be in a zoo or whatever.
Well, they're wild animals, so it makes sense,
I know, but they're cute and cuddly, and I just want to hug them.
They are cute and
Well,
cuddly.
apparently that's what the tourists think here in South Dakota. When they, just because the bison will walk right up to your truck, it doesn't mean you should reach out and pet them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
Barney
every year,
has those in
someone
Arizona too.
gets speared.
Mm-hmm. So, Angela, you want to share with us what some of your goals are for this year?
Well, I think I don't have a whole bunch of goals.
For the shop, you mentioned the shop.
It. Yeah, I want to get an online store going. And
where are you thinking? Because I know there's Etsy, and
I'm going to go with Equid.
Oh my gosh, I haven't heard of that one.
Yes, I'm going to try that because
how do you spell that?
Money, ECWID, I think.
Equid.
Huh. Yeah. Because they don't take a portion like Etsy.
Right. And then the credit card and everything is free.
Wow.
You can list up to 10 items for free. And then beyond that, you have to start paying a fee. But it's a lot like, is it WordSpace? No. Yeah? No. My daughter was trying to get me to do something else.
There's something that starts with an SH, and I can't think of what it is.
She was trying to do Squarespace, but they take fees too. And I'm like, I'm already, if I can not have to pay all those extra fees, then I don't have to raise my prices even more, because you have to factor that in. I mean, shipping is killer right now. And so we hate to raise our prices too much. And if I can find a platform that works, and what research I've done, people have been
Thank you, Dark Lord Minute.
So I thought I'm gonna give that a try.
That was the SH one.
Oh, Shopify. I've heard good things on that too, but I think it depends on what you're selling, on what platform you want to use.
Yeah.
I've heard that too. Like some people, if you're selling art, it's better to go with one, or if you're selling, I don't know.
By Dark Lord Minute. Yeah,
I haven't even done all that research.
Artfire, Shopify, also for like no cost basically compared to Etsy.
Yeah, I think Etsy has gotten to where their fees are to where people are really considering not using it anymore. Now, Mountain Grandma, didn't you say
I have an Etsy.
But you
have anything in there.
It,
but I have an Etsy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say it was really easy for me.
The thing with Equid, I think, is you can add it in if you already have like a web page. You can add it to your web page, but it doesn't have a web page, if that makes sense. And like Shopify and some of those others, I think it's all in one. I don't know. It just depends on what you're wanting out of it.
The Equid?
Yeah. So I'll do my own packaging. It's not like, I mean, I'm making my products that I'm going to sell myself. So I think it might make a difference if, like, say you're selling t-shirts and you have to go through someone else who's making the t-shirts and stuff like that. We'll see.
You'll have to see how that goes. I haven't done any research or looked into those things. Like I was thinking about having like a store years ago when I actually was making things and selling what I made. But I always managed to sell what I made like to people. And so I never really felt like I didn't have the time to produce any more product than what I was producing.
Yes.
But for the store wise, I was thinking I could focus on just a couple of things that are where my formulas are pretty much down pat. You know what I mean? I know what this formula is. Like my pain oils are the main thing. I have like a joint pain and then a nerve pain oil. And I mean, it's not going to change. Those formulas are what they are. They seem to be really helpful for people. So I was thinking I could just start with those two things. And then if I do other stuff for fun, I do need to like finalize my, like I was telling you, my green tea stuff. Yeah. I don't feel like it's a final formula though. So that's not ready, but I was thinking.
Anita was saying Etsy is good, but Shopify seems to be better. And by Jamie's Country Living, how to go outside.
Pinterest. I love Pinterest. It's like the only other social
Dropped
media that I
mine.
do.
I need to get more active in that again.
Mm-hmm.
I did that 4 years ago. I started out and I was doing blogging versus YouTube is more of a vlog, I guess, kind of. But that's when I started getting myself out there a little bit. But I don't know where I was going with that.
Hey, Little Ridge Farm. Well, I don't help any because I will flat out. I'll ask you a question and take us way over into
I just do that sometimes. So I'm trying to watch the chat too, because I found that I have a really hard time. I look at you guys and not the chat because I'm trying to focus my, attention on you and answer your questions. But then it's like I don't want to ignore the people in the chat either. So sometimes I squirrel away my thoughts when I go back and forth.
That's all right.
Gail just downloaded the Equid app. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to give it a try. It seems like it's safe and it's free, and you do have to pay more as you grow. Like obviously, if you want to list more than 10 things. So I haven't got that figured out. So like if I did say soap and I had 12 different scents of soap, I don't know. I may not be able to list that way, because on some of the other platforms you can say one soap and then you can choose a scent under each one. I don't know if that's an option with them or not. But yeah.
What all are you thinking of putting on there? What are your products? You've got mentioned soap, and it's cold process.
It's probably going to be it's the old fashioned where I use the lye and I have to let it cure and everything. I probably am going to start with just that. I used to make lotions and lip balms and bath bombs and all that, all from my goat's milk stuff, candles.
Awesome.
But that's been a long time since I've been able to do that.
Yeah.
Probably 5 years. But now that I've got my freeze dryer, I'm excited about doing that again because I wasn't real happy with my dehydrated milk. And I'm much happier with the freeze dried milk. So, I can get back to making some of those products because obviously bath bombs, you need the dry milk.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Awesome.
And I sell jams and jellies. I might do that too. Because I've not ever had a problem shipping them before. And I do, the few rare times I get to sew, I have a few sewing projects that I sell. Those these kitchen, I call them kitchen scarves, but you may have seen them in stores as kitchen boas, and I usually whip those up pretty quick. Well, it's just like a towel that kind of wraps around your neck, and so you have
instead of having that tea towel.
Or you can use it as a pot holder. If you make them long enough, you can pull stuff out of the oven or move your cast iron around. Some people don't like wearing aprons. Now I'm an apron.
I'm an apron person because I'll jack up my clothes like nobody's business.
Oh, I just like aprons.
I do too, but no apron.
Yeah. But no, I mean, there's times where I'll just get the meal made or whatever, but I do like my aprons. I wish I could make aprons to sell maybe someday, but it's just a time thing.
It is. It is. I'm not a really fast sewer.
Yeah. I'm seam ripping everything out because I'm a perfectionist, especially with quilting, you learn to become a perfectionist because if those squares do not line up, I mean, maybe you would look at it and not see it, but me as the quilter, I would look at that, and if it's off like, a 1/16 of an inch, and I'm just like, no.
That's why I haven't done the quilting yet. I'm like, crap, I'm going to have, at least with clothes, just to let you remember, we were talking, I like to sew clothes. With clothes, you can kind of finagle it. You can make it work if you've screwed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you can't. Those lines have to be straight and on the money for quilting.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
my mom's that way. She can't quilt, but she loves to sew. Like she can whip up a dress in no time with all the fluffy frilly. Like she did that. She worked on my daughter's baby quilt for my granddaughter for like months. But then in maybe 2 days time, she put together like 6 outfits for my cousin's baby. And she's like, They were all like,
my
"What?" And my
gosh.
aunt, who's the quilter, who was letting her borrow her machines and stuff, she goes,
Uh-huh.
"We have worked so hard that I haven't even got to make my own granddaughter's baby quilt, and you whipped these up." She said, "I've always told you, I just can't quilt, but I can sew."
Oh my goodness.
I'm the opposite. I can quilt and not
I
sew.
I can sew, but I'm slow about it. Like
Yeah.
if I want them to have something for summer, like if I'm sewing something for summer, I better get busy, because here's part of, I don't just sit down and sew something and there it is. No, I pick out the pattern. I might, pin it all down one day, and
That's
then
cute.
I'll come back to it in a day or so. Maybe it's next week. I'll
Yep.
come back to it and then cut the fabric out. Okay, there it is. I've got all my pieces labeled. That's good enough today. Now what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
And come back to it in another week or so, and piece by piece. And then with the two grandbabies, and they're both girls, and I've got to keep it even. And I
That's
cannot
probably hard.
stand to make something. I made the mistake of this, making like an outfit for one. And then I was like, ah, crap, I got to do that all freaking over again. Same color and everything. Like, I'm tired of looking at pink and gray. Like,
You would not do well with weddings then, having to make all the bridesmaids
oh my
dresses and
gosh.
the
I
flower
could
girl
Oh,
dresses all the same.
So I do theirs. I will get each, I'll do the same steps at the same time. One in
that
one
makes sense.
size, one in the other size,
That does make
and
sense.
and then move on to the next step. And
That
it is.
makes perfect
Hey,
sense.
Gear Gryden.
Yeah, I like their comment. I can sew, so no.
Yeah, it is fun though. It's a fun hobby. Hey, Arc
Here,
Wildman. I missed the karaoke, Arc. I am so sorry that we missed that. I'm going to try again for next Sunday. Sunday's hard. Weekends are hard, and
weekends are hard.
they're hard
Um,
for our household and our family. It's kind of rough.
yeah, absolutely.
hmm
Things are getting done.
Yeah, they are.
Or
So
now it's like, you're back to daylight savings. So it's like,
hmm
eat for us, evening chores are much later now.
yeah, us too.
Before I used to try to do it right before dark.
hmm
Yeah.
And now,
It is dark.
well, no, now it's light out later. So, we're back to almost, 6 o'clock or so.
Yeah, we always go and check on the animals at nighttime too. Like we're doing, and that's just the outdoor stuff, right? And then there's the indoor stuff. I feel like I never have enough evening, which it makes us
I'm
stay up late.
tired by the time, the sun goes down. I'm ready for bed. I go to bed early anymore, it seems.
Oh, we're
Right.
up till like midnight.
Oh,
It's awful. I know you are too, Lisa, because sometimes I'll see you comment on something. I'll be like, oh shoot, she's up like I am.
yeah. I can't do it. I just can't. I've always been an early riser though. I mean, like it was no problem for me as a kid to be up at 6 o'clock playing in my room
Mm-hmm,
quietly while everyone else would wait to wake up.
mm-hmm. Yep. It
So
I,
feels like we get to relax around 9 p.m. I swear it feels like that. And it's not uncommon for me to be like, shoot, I got to make dinner. And it's, 7:30.
yeah, we do that too. Like it was probably 9 o'clock when we ate last night.
Yeah.
yeah. I wanted to show you, we have, we've been hauling water, and it's been working out great, especially when you have this weather today. Well, I brought buckets in the house, and I only had covers for 2 of the buckets.
Uh-huh.
And we brought the buckets in the house in case, we lost power. We had some water to add to the troughs for the outside animals. Look what Diesel did.
Oh.
He's sitting there drinking out of the bucket of water.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, dude, you have a bowl that's, 20 feet from there.
This
Would
tastes
you
so
look
much
at
better.
Barb? That's
Barb,
not
you're
healthy.
crazy.
Yeah, I can't do that. I am not one of those
Me
people
neither.
I need my sleep.
Mm-mm. If I'm up after, I will say this: we stay up late, but I can feel when I'm up past midnight, 12:30.
Yep.
Like, and then I'm like, oh man, I gotta go to bed. I gotta be up in the morning. Like, and I hate it. I have my alarm set for the latest time I could sleep till. And I hate it when I wake up to my alarm. It almost makes me angry. Like it wakes me in a foul mood. I like to
Oh.
wake up on my own without an alarm clock. Otherwise, it's almost like, I don't know, that alarm clock's like somebody like poking at you. Get up. I hate that thing.
I don't use an alarm clock much either, unless I have somewhere I really have to go. It's I have this internal clock. Like there for a while, it was 4:30. I was waking up in the mornings to get stuff
Oh,
done,
that's brutal.
But I'm about 6 or 7 now. 7
Mm-hmm.
is sleeping in for me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the nights where I try to stay up, Last night was probably 11:30, I guess.
Look
Yeah.
at Barb's comment.
Hold
The
on.
older we get.
Wait, where is it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, isn't that or a hangover?
The
Yeah.
truth right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe, Garden State Gardener. Thank you for coming in.
Watering does take forever, too.
Mm-hmm.
I know people have said that. It just does. And that's another thing about the garden. Boy, I forget about that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but it's supposed to, like, okay, so my expectations might not meet reality. Not a surprise, but I was telling my husband, hey, we're not going to have to like water all the time because we're in the Midwest and it rains here.
You'll still have to water.
It looks like I'm wrong about this because Gear Gryden is in the same state that I'm in, and he said it takes him 45 minutes to water. So he's watering his garden.
Yeah. Because you're Missouri, right?
Yeah.
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 Right next to me. I'm Kansas, right next to
Yeah, we're
you, so
neighbors.
yeah. But I got to where I had a sprinkler and I would turn it on while I would do other things. So it would kind of go back and forth and I could like large water, whether it's in one spot and do that in the mornings or in the evenings so that it doesn't, scorch your plants. That helps.
Yeah, we could do it twice a day here. It's ridiculous. So dry.
Yeah. Arizona was like that too. I mean, Lisa, you're like we were, like your humidity's like what, 7% or something? Like,
yeah.
Oh, crazy.
I'm not kidding you. Like it's that much. I didn't even, I have a dehydrator. You probably can't see it back behind me, but I didn't use it. I could just put things on the counter and they'd dry out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't
like they dry out,
one.
Angela, like dry, arid, cracked dirt.
Yes. Like don't take your bread out and hurry up what you want to do with it for a sandwich.
Wow.
Or it's going to be really dry bread and you got to close it up. Like, huh, Lisa?
I haven't had that problem with bread.
We had that.
Really?
I have to be real careful about that bread. Yeah, because sometimes when you're making sandwiches, you pull a couple pieces out, put it in the toaster, and if it was, the hubby or something, maybe he wouldn't wrap it up because you wait. We only have a 2-slice toaster. I'd be like,
Larry's fault. Mountain Grandpa.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It's
with your freeze dryer, though, Lisa, that you don't have to rush to get stuff in quite as fast as some of the rest of us then. Because like I have to be careful. Like I have a hard time running stuff in like a food processor because just the heat of that can bring out the moisture. And so I bet you are able to not have to rush so much then to get stuff.
Oh, like after it comes out of the freeze dryer to jar it up?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, I move pretty quickly, but I don't worry about it. No, because usually, I mean, you've seen what I do. It's like when in doubt, run the 2 hours extra.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
sometimes even
better.
up to 12 extra. I'm just like,
yeah.
Angela, wait a minute. So I made in our I don't have a freeze dryer. I have a dehydrator. But I made, banana chips. I made some strawberry chips for the babies, and I made them some fruit roll-ups. That's the funnest thing to make in a dehydrator.
I love fruit roll-ups, and
yeah, me too. They're so good. Everybody, if you make fruit roll-ups, just make sure you put something sour in there. Like I always have lemon juice, but I'll put maybe a little. I gotta have that tartness. That's otherwise
I put lemon juice in too, because then it just keeps your fruit
Yeah.
colors. Nice
Plus, I
too.
like the tartness. So I put
Mhm.
in extra, maybe what the recipe calls for. But anyway, so I made that all and I had them sitting out. I didn't like put them because I was rolling them up. They're sitting
Mhm.
out, rolling them up. The babies were eating because the babies were over and they thought it was just a magical thing. So I
Oh
was
yeah.
giving them to, you got to cut them up and all that. And then I put them in a baggie because they're going to go fast, right? And I got to thinking after I did that, I was like, man, I wonder if I could have dehydrated this more. Was that because of what's going on with the humidity? Do you think
Oh,
the humidity is that what you're talking about with having to hurry with
probably
the,
No,
so.
what she was
Yeah.
talking about was when you freeze dry stuff, right? The
uh-huh,
minute you open your vacuum seal
uh-huh,
on, or you open the seal on the freeze dryer,
mm-hmm.
you're introducing moisture in the air to the product that you just freeze dried.
Yeah,
So, if you have 80% humidity, you
uh-huh,
better move pretty quick.
gotcha.
With mine, I can move slower. The other thing is the
Yeah.
machine runs shorter for me than it does for, say, Angela, because of the
Oh,
humidity in the air, because it
yeah.
takes a long time. Because Harvest Right will send out an email that says, summer's here. Remember,
Mm-hmm,
everything's going to be running a lot longer. And I'm
mm-hmm.
like, no, it's not. And then
Yeah,
I realized,
because
Super good.
people always say, how many hours does it take to do eggs? Well, it depends on where you are. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a set thing for the machine. It's your environment too that you have to factor in.
Yeah. And if you read instructions, remember that because another thing I did, I cut fatter banana chips than I have like historically in
Yeah.
Arizona. I made them fatter because I was reading this thing about, you should cut them fatter. And I was like, I never cut mine fatter. I usually cut them thinner. And I thought, I'm going to try them fatter. Maybe they'll be like chewy and no, don't do that where you have humidity. It
Yeah.
took, I mean, granted, I just didn't just leave my dehydrator running the whole time because if I left to go somewhere, I'd turn it off and then, maybe I'd come home and I would forget. Or I didn't
It
leave it
probably
on.
picked up moisture during that time that you were not.
Oh my gosh,
That's
no
probably what happened.
wonder.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
because the
Oh
minute
my
you shut your
God.
dehydrator off, it's picking up moisture.
Yep.
No
So
So it's
I
kidding.
not getting
always
the
left
heat.
mine running if I left.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Always,
Yep.
I always turn
always.
everything
I
off.
just
Like
trusted the
washing
process
machine
and
goes on pause.
yeah.
Everything's off. I don't know.
Oh,
It's this safety thing. Hey, Callie King 916 and my
Now,
Green Drop Life. Good to see
yeah,
you all.
it's picking up that moisture
yep,
would be my guess. And that's
Yeah.
why it's
you're
taken so long.
you're starting all over again.
Oh
Mhm.
my God. Hey, Tamara, L&L Homestead, and Lazy Days Ahead. Jesse, good to see you all. No kidding. That's why it took me days because every time, because of the humidity, which I've never had to deal with before.
And even if you have like the dehydrator I'm currently using, it
Uh-huh.
opens up like a door and
Uh-huh.
it's got a nice seal around it. It still can let some of that back in. Not as much as the one where I stacked,
Yeah.
on the table, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a
It'll actually
commercial one.
hold
So
it in there in my
it's a
in what I have
box with the
now.
shelves. Love
Yep.
that one. I
Yep.
got it at Cal Ranch. Love
Yep.
it. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. So that's what the deal is. Holy cow.
You need to just text me. We'll talk.
I know. Oh my gosh. Hey, Tina Ladybug. I'm glad that came up, Angela. Glad you shared
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Yeah, if you shut it off,
sometimes
you're
I learn
interrupting the
something.
process.
This is going to be a new thing, the humidity and the bugs, and I've been planting garden beds
Oh, the
around
bugs are going to be
insects.
different for you. Totally
They
different.
they are. I killed
Yeah.
a wasp. I was out
I
working on
mean,
the
even in your
garden bed.
garden,
Yeah,
like your pests that affect your plants will be different.
yeah, because I didn't have any. Like they never
Right.
found my garden. They, never traversed the dry terrain
Yeah.
far enough to find my little bitty oasis of a garden.
Yeah. That's funny. Like spaghetti, no, zucchini. I
Mhm.
found that I do much better in the fall than I do in the spring because in the
Huh.
spring is when they're all emerging and
Uh-huh.
all those spaghetti squash go in there and they'll just take over.
Uh-huh.
Not the squash bugs.
The
Why do
Or
I
squash
keep
bugs.
saying
limestores.
spaghetti squash? Yes.
Good
Yes.
to know because I love growing zucchini and spaghetti squash. I love
Yeah.
spaghetti squash
You
because that
almost
stuff
have
stays
to
good
have
forever too.
a sacrifice plant, like they can go to this one to
But
stay.
do
And then,
they? I
yeah.
mean, I feel like then you're just giving them breeding opportunity.
Well, what I did is
Wow.
I did it in a totally different area, like up the hill, like not
Thanks,
in my
off the wall.
garden. And they
Mm-hmm.
all kind of attacked that. And then, like a
Hmm.
couple weeks later, I planted my others, and they were
Hmm.
up there, and they didn't come down there for a long time.
Really
And I was able to get some fruit. But I
good.
wouldn't do it in the same area by any means because they'll just go from plant to plant to plant to plant.
Yeah. Ew, gross, Barb.
So I think okay.
Oh,
We used to have a pest control company, and we caught I don't even remember. I think it was a wolf spider that
Ugh.
had a bunch of babies sitting on its back. They carry them around.
Yep.
It is the coolest. I mean, I know it's disgusting, if you don't,
That's
but
cool.
it's really cool. Scorpions do that too. They'll carry all their babies on their back. It's quite a sight to see.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, we don't, I mean, you don't want them, but it is pretty
Ark says the snakes are out too. I dare them to be out here.
I bet they are here.
I'm
I
sure.
haven't seen one yet, but as warm as it's been the last couple of days. But also mushrooms. It is the time when the sun comes out like this. I can go foraging for mushrooms. So I'm
Yes,
excited
Ark
about that.
Wildman was just eating morels.
You guys are getting them there?
He's in Arkansas.
Oh, in Arkansas. Okay.
I've looked. I haven't seen any, and now I'm going to be really careful when I'm looking because of the spiders. When
If
we're
we
out
get
in the woods,
some rain, I know they're just going to pop out because we're starting to get green grass now. So it's time.
Dad said change the subject.
Looking at the walls. Sorry, friend.
Oh my goodness!
Sorry, Daz. I
What
don't blame you.
what mushrooms do you forage for, Angela?
Morels, mostly.
Morels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're my favorite. I never have enough to do anything other than eat with them. I always know it like spring is here when my ducks start laying again because my ducks think they're chickens and they take their winter break,
Mm-hmm.
although they're not supposed to. They do.
Mm-hmm.
And my asparagus start popping and I'll get some morel mushrooms. And then I know it's officially spring.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, we've been looking. We haven't seen any on the property, but hopefully we'll find some. The marigold flowers are good at keeping those squash bugs away. Awesome. I'm going to try it, but you know what likes marigold flowers? Those dang Asian lady beetles. I totally nerded out.
Really?
Where are my notes?
If
Yes.
you look, I probably have. Yeah, on my ceiling, I've got 2 up there.
Yeah, I
This-
have them too. They're
Can't get rid of
awful.
them.
So they're larvae.
Always one.
The grubs of them feed on the roots of corn, beet, beans, asparagus, tomato, and onion. Now I notice it doesn't say squash, so maybe that's not like their
They're
favorite
probably
thing.
down in my asparagus patches where they're coming from.
They overwinter as partially grown beetles, and they're really a creepy looking thing. Like they got a beetle head and then this wormy kind of body with legs. And they tend to put all of the they end up in the grass, I guess, mostly. And they'll feed off of the roots during the winter. And then the adults emerge in the summer. Feeding activity for an adult can last 4 to 6 weeks. I told you I like really nerded out on this. But they lay their eggs in the soil. So the adults can chew on a variety of your annual plants, including asparagus, green beans, okra, soybeans, and zinnias. And they will eat at your corn so much and the corn silk that they'll prevent the corn from being able to set kernels.
They're
Wow.
kind of
They will eat aphids and mealybugs and scaly insects and thrips, but they also feed on rhubarb, grapes, raspberry, elderberry, blackberry fruit trees, and
You
grapes.
nerded out.
I did. I went
You nerded.
grapes.
Now, are you talking those little ladybug things or the Asian beetles?
Asian lady beetles.
The
Asian
beetles that everybody thinks are ladybugs, but they're not. They're actually Asian beetles.
Talking those tiny little things up there. Where'd they go? That thing, like tiny little thing.
Oh, I mean, they look like a
The
ladybug.
size of a ladybug. Okay.
They look like a ladybug, but they're not a ladybug.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, because the Asian, like what I know as an Asian beetle is like bigger, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
Oh,
got like
And brown
shiny.
and
Yeah,
orange. I saw
I don't
one.
know.
I saw that when I was looking them up too.
No, they're
Hey,
like
Simply
black
Jan.
with iridescent on them, and they'll
Hmm.
take out an entire fruit tree
Oh
in
my
a couple
word.
of hours.
Hey,
They
our
put this pheromone out and then call in all their friends, and then it's gone.
yep.
So
And
I
the
think that's what
ladybugs,
you're
they
talking about.
bite too. So these are the ladybug ones. But I thought somebody had told me that they call them Asian lady
yeah.
beetles here.
They
Okay,
call
I
them
just saw 'em.
Asian.
Yeah.
So
I
what?
had them in Connecticut, and they said they weren't ladybugs; they were Asian beetles.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we
So
call 'em.
what can deter the Asian lady beetles? Check this out.
Japanese beetles is what I'm thinking of.
Odorless marigold will deter an Asian lady beetle. So maybe you get,
Odorless.
yeah.
Well, I
Is
would
there
like
like
that
I
because I
think
don't
they're
like
supposed to be
deodorant.
white or something? I don't know. Also, catnip, chives, garlic, nasturtium, but nasturtium's a trap plant for a bunch of bugs that you don't want. White geraniums, and I read this, I found this like journal article with, good graphs and stuff, and they were saying that they believed that future treatment of Asian lady beetles might be from the geranium plant. Like if they can do something with the white geranium. So,
I have white snow. Does that help?
yes, I'm sure that'll really keep them away.
It didn't in Connecticut. Well, it didn't. It didn't in Connecticut.
Yeah. Anyways, my nerding facts.
You totally went down a rabbit hole with that thing, didn't you?
I did. I might do a video.
Probably should.
Yeah, it was interesting. Okay, so we are at the top of the hour. Does anybody have questions for Angela before we close the video, the live? Awesome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate chatting with you all. Angela, it has been great chatting with you today.
Yeah. Thanks for
You're
inviting
awesome,
me.
Angela.
This was
Thank you
fun.
so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Y'all take care and keep your joy, everybody. See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.